Oh, there's my puppy. Hey guys, sorry about that. This is Corey from the Life Insurance Professionals. And I was just sitting at the pond meditating and doing some numbers for a client that I just met with this morning for breakfast. And I dropped the kids off and I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a widower. My wife passed away about 5 years ago. And God knows it's not easy. I'm sitting here meditating. This is where I like to relax at the pond and got the dog with me and thinking about some, relationship I've been trying to get into and how the disappointment kind of settles in sometimes from, my missing my wife and how nobody ends up being her. So if you're a widower, you might understand some of the crap I'm thinking about. But I'm sitting here and I was just met with a widower for breakfast. This girl, Jasmine, and she lost her husband to some form of an illness. I don't want to go into her stuff, but the point is that widowers have a lot to deal with on their plate. Taking care of your kids and dropping them off to school and taking care of everything that needs to be done and pickups and drop-offs, and we're doing it all by ourselves. So one of the things that I specialize here at the Life Insurance for Professionals, I'm a licensed insurance agent, and I wanted to make this video about life insurance for our widowers because we have a lot of responsibilities. The people that we rely on tend to be our parents and family members who are older, and they, God forbid something happened to us, would have to be the people who took over. And if there's not a good, logical kind of insurance plan, strategy in place, then they are going to have a lot of difficulty putting up the energy and the time to take care of your kids the way you want it. You want them to not be stressed, but to be able to give the love they need to your little kids. My kid, Harvey's only 5, and he was just born when she passed, and Sammy is now 12, and he was 7. And you guys understand, I'm sure. So I was just doing this plan for this nice girl, and she had her mind stuck on $2 million worth of coverage. She needs $2 million worth of coverage. Her parents are in their late 70s, and if God forbid her sister had to take the kids, she has no money. The grandparents don't have any money. But she does okay, but she doesn't have the savings that's needed. So she had her mind stuck on a 30-year term for $2 million. Could she afford that? No. It came out, she's only 38 years old, and it came out to about $210, $215 for a 30-year term. And that was at $2 million. And I, sat her down and we had this conversation about a strategy. And I broke some basic numbers down. I wanted to share them with you just to show you a strategy of what we call layering that makes it so that you can afford it and get the amount of coverage you really feel that's needed for less money. So what I was able to do was we did a quote for the $2 million for the 30-year term. It came out to $210 approximately. And the way that we worked it was like this. So her kid is 8 years old, and in 10 years he'll be 18. So we'll be getting out of high school. Figure another 3 years, 4 years, who knows. You're looking at college. So you're looking at him getting out of there about 22, 23 years of age. And we wanted to make sure that there was going to be plenty of money in there to take care of him, as well as if God forbid she was to pass while he was younger, that the grandparents would be able to make sure everything for him was taken care of. Now, if we're there, it's a different story. But if my mother, who's a single grandmother, widower as well, at 78 had to do this, it would be a mess. She wouldn't have the money, she wouldn't have the time, she wouldn't have the energy. Nannies, everything would be needed. So the strategy I used of layering was like this. I said, well, what can you afford? And her answer was, I can do $160 a month. The max she was going to get was the $1.5 million in a 30-year term. But in her head, she has to have the $2 million and she has to have 30-year term. So I broke it down into the strategy, which I think made sense. And I wanted to share it with you guys. So if we did a $1 million 30-year term, it would only cost $105. And if we added on a 20-year term of 500,000, it would cost 36. And if we did a 15-year term, it would be 30 for 500,000. So let's do those numbers one more time. $1 million for 30 years, 105. 20 years of 500,000 for 36, and a $500,000 policy for 15-year term for 30. So let's do the math. A 15-year term expires when that kid is going to be 23, just getting out of college. 500,000 drops off. She's still got 1.5 million left. His college is paid for. He's taken care of. Everything's done, right? So now she's got 5 more years. The kid's going to be up to 28. Then another 500,000 drops off. There's still $1 million policy on for another 10 years. So if you're following me, based off of her now probably owning her home, if she's still alive, and cars are paid off, college is paid off, she doesn't need as much money. She still has that $1 million that's going to be there. She's 38. This is going to take her to 68. At that point, he's on his own. She passes, we're going to have a whole life policy put there that's going to cover her final expenses, leave a little bit of cash, and take care of some other stuff. We'll put that in place in another year or two. We have plenty of time for that type of a policy. But the idea of layering these policies on top of each other gets her set up. Now, just to give you the idea, we were at $210 for a $2 million 30-year term. If we did that layering process, we would bring her down to $171. Her budget was $160. An extra $11, what's that, 10 cents a day? Puts her at where she wants to be. She's got $2 million of coverage for the next 15 years. And then in 20 years, it's going to drop to $1 million. 20 years. The kid's 28. It makes sense. Have a good agent in place. I got her there. I saved her $40, put her at the budget she wanted. Took care of the idea if she has the $2 million in there. That took care of that logic for her. No more racking her brain that there's not $2 million worth of coverage. And now she's got a strategic strategy that is set up by somebody who cares about her and understands what's going through her mind, because I know what's going through a widower's mind. So again, getting a life insurance policy through a website, that's great. Deal with an agent. Let's sit down and figure out what it's going to really be, how we can save you money. This came in at $11 more than she wanted to pay, and she's got her $2 million in place for the next 15 years. And then it's going to drop to $150,000, and she'll have that for another 5 years. So that's 20 years down the line. And then in 30 years, the rest drops off, and we'll have another strategy in place to take care of what's needed then. So it's all about spending the time with your agent. My number is 561-542-8610. I deal in 21 different states, which I'm going to list below in the description of this video. So you know if I do business out there. And if I don't do business out there, call me anyway. Let's do a strategy. I don't care if I can't help you. I can help you with your strategy. And then I can put you onto a website that you can just buy it from. Okay, men, women, whatever, just call me, reach out to me. I got a website called thelifeinsuranceprofessionals.com. That's www.thelifeinsuranceprofessionals.com. Just go there. You can get quotes there. You don't even have to talk to me. You can actually write your own policy there if you wanted to use the strategy I just gave you, and you were 38 and you were a non-smoker in decent health. You could just use my strategy I just gave you. It's some free information. You don't even need to deal with me. You print your own policy, put it in your file cabinet. But take your time and read it out. This is the way to go. Even if it's not a $2 million number in your head, just reach out to me, okay? Let's say that. Let's work this out. We're both widowers. At the worst, we're going to be able to sit down and give each other some advice in life. God bless you.